Hi, my name is Ajay Govind. Welcome to my LifePage. I'm going to talk about direction today. But before I talk about that, let me introduce myself. I finished my schooling from the International School of Bangkok in Thailand, after which I did a Bachelors in English Literature from St. Stephen's College, Delhi University. It was after I finished my graduation that I decided to explore the world of media and did a media studies course from St. Stephen's College. During this course, I was introduced to film theory and film history, and that's when I discovered my interest in direction. I already used to write short stories and poems, so I decided to take that onto a new medium and turn towards direction, film direction. Direction is basically taking an idea that's already on paper, that's already got a framework on paper and a clear structure on paper, onto the medium of films, onto the medium of video. And the role of the director in this medium is, like the cliche goes, he's the captain of the ship. I already said that films are a really important way in which you can learn direction. I would add to that literature. And when I say literature, I mean that in a very broad sense. It could be reading books, it could be reading classics, it could be reading magazines, newspaper articles, autobiographies, biographies, because each and everything that you read adds to your knowledge pool as a director. You may read a book, an article about somebody, and while you're directing someone, a very important skill that helps a director is writing. What writing does is basically helps you get into the detailing of things which you otherwise can't do on film. You know, when you write something down, you can put out bullet points. You may not consider yourself a writer, but when you have a scene, when you're working with a scene, there are a lot of things that you need to think about, which you won't be able to actually capture on video. So what writing does is kind of helps you fill in those gaps. I think a positive that I really value, and it's very close to my heart, is seeing an idea go from paper to screen. Something that was just written, it was just words. It becomes images, there's sound added to it, and all these people who come together to kind of make it real, so to speak. It's like a building, you see empty land, and all these people come together, ideas, designs, the construction, all of that happens, and then there's a building. So I kind of think of it like that. And that creative satisfaction of seeing something that didn't exist before you kind of went and did your work, I think is unparalleled. I think one of the biggest challenges, and one that one doesn't really have any control over, is externalities, uncertainties. These uncertainties could be because your actor suddenly falls sick, or some other situation like that comes up. Like I said earlier, you want the sun and it's a cloudy day. What do you do? So those are the kind of challenges. So typical day of a director actually depends on which aspect of the film you're working on. For instance, when you start a project, that is called pre-production, which means even before you go for the shoot. The third stage is the post-production stage. Now, at the post-production stage, which is the editing, your film is already shot, you have all your material. I hope I've been able to give you a balanced view of direction. Remember, it's an extremely dynamic field, and it will mean a different thing to each person. But I'm sure that any of these skills and the challenges and the educational kind of background that I spoke about, if you put together all of these things, you will realize what a fulfilling profession it can be also. Thank you.